It's a long time to be in business, 20 years. 20 years in the cigar industry puts you in a rare category because there are a lot of people who get in, can't find the market, can't find the market share, and then are out. Kristoff is not one of those people. Glenn Case has developed something here that is quite sensational. And with this, the Veinte, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Kristoff, I'm expecting good things. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy, who just grabbed a torch lighter that is also part flamethrower. What was happening over there?
I don't know, but I think I just started the 2024 Olympics.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. This is a beautiful, beautiful cigar from Kristoff. It is the Veinte, V-E-I-N-T-E, Brazilian Arapiraca wrapper, so same as the Brickhouse Maduro. Indonesian in the binder, and the filler is a mix between Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania. This comes out of the Dominican. It's a series, there's a series of sizes, but we are doing the Perfecto, which the guys at Cigar Coop referred to as a cut Perfecto. I've never actually seen that written before, so I don't know if that's them just recognizing the shape or if it's a something specific. A Perfecto would be something that is very, very narrow at the cap where you cut, like a torpedo. Then it gets a little more bulbous, and then it tapers down at the foot end, the end that you light. Instead of coming to a point, this gets cut. So you like you're normally cutting or normally lighting, toasting the foot of a cigar. It's just kind of unique. So I like the idea of referring to it as a cut Perfecto. It is a 6x60, which means it's 6 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And the ring gauge is a 60, the diameter of the cigar, or really how thick it is around. Again, with the laughter. Now, a 64 is a full 1 inch around, but this is going to be a very interesting mouthfeel because where it comes to a point where you're cutting on that cap end, I mean, that's non-existent. Where that mouthfeel is going to be is really dependent on where you want to cut. And you're going to have to cut a little bit, be able to get a good draw, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to put yourself in a position not to be able to actually enjoy it. Fingers Malloy, with your torch there, you have lit. You are going. What is it that you're experiencing?
Well, first of all, it has some nice heft to it. The Perfecto, though, is not something I gravitate to because of the hand feel. It's a little odd for me. Also, I think with the way the bands are on some Perfectos, it's got to be a little bit of a struggle for the manufacturer to have something on there that won't maybe annoy you, that will want to slide off or so
take it off. Take off the band.
I know, but I kind of...
By the way, it's totally fine to take off the band anytime you want. There are people who will tell you that you let the cigar smoke so that way the glue on the band starts to melt a little bit so it's easier to come off. Yes, no, sure, whatever, great.
I know I can take it off, Tony, but see, when I'm smoking a Kristoff, which I enjoy, a lot of the Kristoff brand, let's face it, I want everyone to know that I'm smoking a Kristoff.
Oh, so this is about bragging rights.
Oh, absolutely. They'll say, that gentleman over there likes the finer things in life.
Right. We did the guardrail just a few weeks back. Of course, Fingers is a huge fan of what's known as the Kristoff Pistoff.
Yes.
They make a series of cigars. So I'm right now toasting the foot end of this, right? Getting heat on it, getting it that orange, letting it turn white, moving it around. Very often I like to do it top down, right? Really keep the cigar straight up. But if you're not careful, you're going to burn yourself, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So doing it at like that 45 or 55 degree angle and toasting it is just fine. Absolutely fine. And then taking my first few puffs, Fingers.
Oh, he's going in, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing what we like to call the Portsmouth Puff.
The Portsmouth Puff. That's terrible. I like Glenn. Glenn Case is a good guy. Glenn Case is a guy who really seems to he's not tortured by his art. He really seems to enjoy the art. Some guys are tortured by it. Some guys pretend that they're tortured by it. He seems to just be a lover of it. Well, okay. So we start with a spice note that to me absolutely comes through mid-tongue.
That's amazing. I'm not getting any pepper, any spice at all. And I lit this a good maybe 2 minutes before you did. For me, I'm getting some cocoa. And that's about it right now. And I'm not complaining.
Look, I'm not opposed to cocoa, but I think there was more of a rich spice, not a white pepper, red pepper, black pepper, a rich spice that came off it. Okay, that could be seen as a little bit of chocolate, a very base chocolate, almost you could think of a bitter chocolate in there. It's good, solid. There's a nice thickness to the smoke too, right? It's hitting the palate in a full way. This is from Kristoff, the Veinte, Veinte. It comes in 4 of Vitolas or sizes. You can, and by the way, it's cut perfecto. That's how it's called. Guy, I wanted to check. The guys at Half Wheel say it too. I have never heard it referred to as cut perfecto. That's me. So hey, look who's learning, Fingers.
Isn't that what we're all about here at Eat, Drink, Smoke?
I would hope so. Some people know they're about other things. So they do it as a Robusto, a Toro, a Gordo, a 6x60, or this cut perfecto. I happen to like the perfecto shape. Right. I know you're much more of a box press guy. Sometimes you like something that has uniformity across the cigar. What I like about the perfecto is that it kind of offers a different level of smoking experience. Having to work through that first part of it, that draw is a little more intense. So you have to work a little bit harder because where you've cut is thinner, and of course where you've lit from is thinner. To then have it open up and to have that experience in the draw, almost to an extent of reward, right? You did the hard work, and now you get to enjoy the fullness the way the blender and the rollers intended you to enjoy it. So I like it. The wrapper here is this mottled black. It's got a little bit of oil, a little bit of sheen, a little bit of smoothness, but it is beautiful. It is beautiful, and you could see some veining in there. It's a very, very, very pretty. There's almost in certain light a metallic sheen going on here, and I think that is very, very pretty.
Yeah, it is. And do you have any tips for people when it comes to cutting one of these, as far as how deep they should cut it?
Start shallow, work your way down. You can always cut more. You cannot cut less. So start shallow. If the draw is too intense, cut, too hard, cut a little bit more. But remember that on a perfecto, as the cigar gets larger, the ring gauge gets larger, it's going to open up, and that draw will get easier over time. So you got to play the game of, do I need to cut a little bit to make the draw easier, or do I have to get through this part in order to get the easier draw?
Yeah. So, it's like what I like to say on several occasions: measure once and cut twice.
That's what you say.
Mm-hmm.
That is all. What else do you say, Fingers Malloy? What else is?
Well, as you know, my life's motto is live, laugh, love.
Right. And if you like what you're hearing, say so in the comments. He started doing that about a month ago, where we would be talking about something random, and he would go, "If you like what you hear, leave a comment below." I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's just fun.
And this will now be a thing he does for the next 20 years. The question, Fingers Malloy. Well, we'll get to the question coming up. So I'm not a guy who is in the kind of bar at any given time where somehow I have to fight through the crowd and order my drink. It's not what I do, right? I know you, Fingers, that happens all the time, right? That is who you are. That's how you live.
Absolutely. If it's 1998.
I don't do those things. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy. Father's Day coming up. Now, if you're not in the Indianapolis area, get our book, Let's Go Barbecue, for Father's Day. Recipes, tips, and tales from the pit. It's available at Amazon.com. You can also get Let's Go Bourbon, the bourbon reader you've always needed. Also there at Amazon.com. And Fingers Malloy, according to your sources, supplies are limited?
Whenever you buy a book on Amazon.com, as we all know, Tony, supplies are limited.
So get your copies now for Father's Day. But if you're in Indianapolis, Saturday, June 15th, Havana Cigar Lounge in Fishers, Indiana. We will be there. We're going to be doing a show. We're going to be smoking cigars. We've got a group called Hotel Tango Distillery, some really, really nice bourbon and rye. They do gin. They do some great cordials. Their cherry cordial is Fingers, you okay?
Yeah, I love the cherry cordial.
So we're going to be out there. That is Saturday, June 15th with Hotel Tango at Havana Cigar Lounge in Fishers, Havana Cigar Lounge from 3 to 5 p.m. And we'll have copies of Let's Go Barbecue that we will sell and some swag. Kick off Father's Day. Kick off Father's Day with us on Saturday, June 15th at Havana Cigar Lounge with HotelTangoDistillery.com.
I have had people ask me, will we have copies of Let's Go Bourbon?
I don't believe so.
No.
But I can try and make that happen. I am a man who has been known to procure things from time to time. I am basically the Red of Eat, Drink, Smoke.
That is true. Just make sure you don't get your copies from Amazon.com because I hear supplies are limited.
That's what I hear as well. I will get into the price of the Kristoff Veinte. We ran out of time. I forgot where we were. I was very excited about the cigar. We'll get to that in a minute. Fingers, you were a bartender.
Yes.
And you bartended in, I won't call them clubs. Would you call them clubs?
Oh, gosh, no.
No, you weren't a club bartender.
No, it was a hole in the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
You
It was
know?
a type of place where people who were 21 and older would go, and if you were over 30 years old, people would say to themselves, who brought their uncle?
Right.
That
And
type
when
of
you
place.
say 21 and older, you mean 17.
No, of course not.
They
But
all showed you an ID.
we had a doorman. But I will say this, after 9 p.m., the blender mysteriously broke.
Unbelievable.
Every time at 9 p.m.
And the reason the blender broke is because when a bar is busy, there are some drinks the bartenders do not want to make, and they don't want you ordering them when the bar is crowded. So here is a list over there at Daily Mail. They put together a list, Fingers Malloy, of drinks, things you should not order when the bar is busy. And on the list is the Long Island iced tea. Fingers Malloy, can you order a Long Island iced tea when the bar is busy?
Well, you can order any of these drinks when the bar is busy. Just don't expect the bartender to be cheery about it is all. Well, it's got 5 different kinds of ingredients in it. At least I think that there's gin, rum, triple sec.
And if you order it on a busy night, spit.
Yes, exactly. I can't remember if there's gin or not. Listen, my bartending days, like I said, it was at a bar where you walked in, the blender was broken after 9. The only mixed drinks we did, Jack and Coke, Captain and Coke. And a lucky girl may come in and order a Zima and have a shot of amaretto in it. That was about as much bartending as I did.
On the
Mixology.
list, the dude abides White Russians. So we're talking about Kahlua and cream. Oh, well, vodka's in a White Russian. My question is, why would a White Russian be off the table?
Maybe because of the cream.
What?
Cream a lot of times they're in smaller bottles, and if you have to keep refreshing it over and over again and then make sure that it's fresh, I'm sure that a lot of bars aren't going through a ton of cream. So that's the only thing I can think of. That's an easy drink to make, a White Russian. I wouldn't think that would be something that bartenders would be upset about. The mojito, I understand.
Is mojito on this list?
It's number 2 on the list.
Did I miss that?
Oh, because you got to get the mint, and don't you have to muddle the mint? I don't know much about the mojito. Not a big mojito fan. I don't go to too many brunches on a Saturday morning, so I don't know.
Who's having mojitos for a Saturday morning brunch?
Oh, it's either bottomless mojitos, bottomless mimosas, or bottomless Bloody Marys.
Well, Bloody Marys is on this list, and I don't understand that at all, because who in the hell is at a bar at night is like, you know what I could go for? That place is super packed. People are on the dance floor. Get me a Bloody Mary and make sure I've got an extra chicken wing and 12 olives on there.
I have relatives that's what they do. At the casino bar, 9 o'clock at night. You know what really sounds good to me? A Bloody Mary. And I look around and I think to myself, well, make sure you watch them make it.
That's when you know that you've got a problem, and maybe you should stop. You should slow down your gambling. When you know you don't have a problem, you gamble with people with a problem. Bloody Mary. Really?
I don't know how people drink them to begin with.
I've tried. I have tried. I want to be a Bloody Mary guy so badly. Like everything about it. The fact that a Bloody Mary is like its own food group because it comes with like it's our standard Bloody Mary, but it comes with a deviled egg, a whole chicken, and 3 pieces of pie.
Yeah.
Like that is a terrific kind of, but I can't get around the idea that tomato juice is just terrible.
Ugh,
Tomatoes I love. Tomato sauce I adore. Ketchup is good. Tomato juice.
And people drink tomato juice and beer too.
What are you even talking about?
Tomato juice and beer.
Why don't you just get the hell out of here? Tomato juice and beer.
It happens. People
No, it doesn't. Wait, could it make an IPA taste good?
No.
Oh, that's really.
I believe there are some brewers that actually produce a product that has both the beer and the tomato juice in a can.
No.
I'm going to look this up.
Right? I mean, wasn't Clamato bad enough? Which is tomato juice and clam juice? Like, isn't that what that is? That's Clamato. Yeah, I'm right. Because people do make Bloody Marys with Clamato. That's exactly that happens all the time.
That sounds terrible.
But that's what it is, isn't it? Isn't that what Clamato is?
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
So no, any tomato juice based beverage, I'm not a fan of. So,
how many are there?
Well, there's V8.
V8's right out.
Ugh,
V8's
terrible.
right out.
They tried to make that popular in the 70s. It's like, if you want to be healthy, drink Tab or a V8 and you'll feel fantastic.
Oh, I'd do a Tab right now.
Ugh.
If I could find one,
Tab or a Crown Royal Blackberry Lemonade.
Tab all day. Find everything we do at eatdrinksmokeshow.com, and we'll put this list there as well. I'm not trying to be salacious, nor am I trying to somehow be grotesque, but a society that does not replicate, meaning doesn't have children, is not a society that can thrive. We can take a look at this on its international stage and take a look at a place like Russia. If you take a look at Russia, and one of the reasons for the invasion of Ukraine, leave your politics to the side. We're just talking about a reality. Russia has a massive population problem. And they, specifically Vladimir Putin, believes that these areas of Ukraine, known as Donetsk and Luhansk, these people are ethnically Russian, and so they should be part of Russia, therefore allowing for population expansion. He has been clamoring for people to have babies for years. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is Fingers Malloy. I bring this up because there's a story that was in the New York Post about Gen Zers not having children. Fingers, you found this story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's been a lot of conversation about the lack of reproduction in this story. Why is it that Gen Z, which is younger than millennials, of course, why are they not having kids?
So this is a research company called Redbridge, and they say that fewer millennials and Gen Zers are having children due to financial challenges.
Yeah. This has been an ongoing story in America, but this is actually an ongoing story of developed nations, that when you take a look at how economies grow, how economies build, levels of cost, the lifestyles that people want, they make determinations. This is far different from when we were more agricultural or agrarian. Would you say agrarian society, where you wanted to have more children because you needed more hands to be able to do the work the land, etc. I mean, if you want to argue it as children as labor, you're more than welcome to, but there were reasons for it. You also took a look at concepts of the family and affordability in years past, and people could afford and wanted to have more children. But if you take a society where you have, in some ways, in a social way, kind of eschewed the idea of children, you've questioned the value of the family. Well, don't be surprised when you find that people have less kids. And we should be clear, outside of that, on the economic side, this is an expensive world we live in right now. The problem is it creates a radical amount of danger for society and for societies, because some societies have more children for religious reasons and cultural reasons, and you change demographics, you change boundaries, there are power shifts that happen from this. I'm not trying to engage in fear mongering. This is a serious, serious issue on just this side of it.
Yeah, it is a serious issue. And when you dig into the numbers a little deeper, there are other questions that may need to be asked. Of the young people choosing not to have children, 35% are university educated, and 33% are earning more than $2,000 a week.
So this is part of, I touched on it a little bit. If you tell an entire generation that, they grow up seeing divorce rates, they grow up being told that, the family is not where it's at. What is the value? If you, that whole thing about Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and this whole idea of the role of women. Look, I don't think the role of the woman is barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. I'm not a believer in that. But we take a look at the idea of motherhood in society, and we have an entire cultural, multiple generations that have said you can have it all, that motherhood isn't something to strive for, it's not an achievement, it's not a value. Well, if you do that, what do you think a result is? We've poisoned our own well in that way. We've made a statement culturally that the things that have created value over the millennia somehow no longer have value. That culturally is grave. That is dangerous stuff.
I also think too that I'm not going to say peer pressure, but culturally, there was a time when you felt like there was a clock where it's like, okay, I have to be married by a certain age. I have to have kids by a certain age. And all my friends are getting married and having kids at a certain age. Well, now, as you pointed out earlier, where divorce rates are where they are, people are putting off marriage longer, and may have something to do with their peer group. Their friends are getting married older, and they're starting families older, if at all, and much of it may be because that's what the peer group is doing.
And what you, I think, find, and anecdotally, there's certainly evidence of this. There are guys who do podcasts about this that I find a fascinating video series. If you say that marriage isn't for you and family isn't for you, and you can have it all, and you're a strong, independent person, you don't need this, you don't need, where is the purpose in one's life? Family is extremely important because there is a sense of purpose. There's a sense of value. There's a sense of connection. There's a sense of responsibility. And these things matter in creating a civil society. There's this whole concept of the necessary nature of sacrifice. And being a parent is absolutely about sacrifice. And that sacrifice has value. And your children seeing it, I am an absolute believer, Fingers, and you have children, and we've discussed this before. It's not what you say to your children; it's what they see. It's how you act. It's how you engage. That's what they're watching. That's what they're learning from. And when they see that you're willing to forego, you're willing to give up, you're willing to take that extra time, they see that they're important, and they see that concept of sacrifice, it shows an importance. And we have a society that, it's the broadband world, the instant gratification right now, nothing but gratification. Why should I have to wait? Why should I have to suffer? Why shouldn't I get? Why shouldn't I have? Because to earn the thing, matters more than to be given the thing.
I also feel like young people, they only see the bad things about parenthood a lot. They go to the store, they see a kid, acting up, crying, ruining something, whether it's a meal at a restaurant, and they don't see the positive things that come from parenthood. The greatest joy in my life has seeing my kids succeed. Greatest joy of my life. Nothing even has ever come close to anything that I've ever achieved in my life as seeing my child doing something and having some success.
We're nearing our 300th episode of Eat, Drink, Smoke.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Not close.
It's not even on the radar compared to my kids. No.
Wow.
And I know you feel the exact same way, Tony.
A little hurtful. I thought we were building something. I thought this was our baby.
I was opening up, Tony. It's not always just live, laugh, love. Sharing my motto. I was sharing my life, my opinions on fatherhood, and then you just throw it all away.
When you say that, like, have you ever discussed that with your kids?
Yes.
That do they think you're corny?
Who knows if they're listening? I hope they are.
That's so great. And right now, everybody listening is like, "Oh, I know what that is. I know exactly what that feeling is."
But they have to know, because it doesn't matter what they do, whether it's band concerts or any other school activity. I don't miss anything. I don't miss anything.
You don't.
So I would hope, just by what you said, what they see, they would know.
This thing about population, about children, does have a second part to it, which we're gonna have to get into another time. We've taught kids to be afraid of sex. We've scared them out of dating, out of relationships. Everything's online. They don't know how to engage. They didn't practice as kids. That's a huge part of this. I mean, we're going to be honest or not. I think we should be honest. Let's face it. If you can get your hands on a bottle of Blanton's, you're buying it. If you find Blanton's because of the scarcity, you are buying it. You might be trying to collect all the little horses on top. They all correspond to a different letter in the name Blanton's, and you can collect the whole series. If you didn't know that, now you know. But Blanton's has a couple of different editions, including a single barrel. And this single barrel is right now in my hands. It is Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy, the Blanton's single barrel. This was dumped Fingers Malloy in October of 2023 from barrel 510 in Warehouse H. It's the Rick 31, and this comes in at 64.2% alcohol by volume, or 128.4 proof. There's the applause. Applause for anything over 100 proof. Blanton's, as I said, there's a series. There's a groupings of them. This is not the everyday. The single barrel, the ability to find it rare enough in your store, and certainly it's something you'll see on secondary markets. I don't recommend buying that way for legal reasons, but Blanton's just has the name. Blanton's, people at Buffalo Trace put together an absolutely excellent product, Fingers Malloy.
Yeah, they do. Now, what barrel did you say this was?
This is barrel 510.
Okay, from what I understand about barrel 510, it is better than barrel 509, but not as good as barrel 511.
That's not true. What's unique here is that what we're doing with this 128.4 proof might not be true of barrel 509 or barrel 511, to the extent that we know that there is a barrel 509 or 511. Each barrel is going to come at a different proof, right? It's the story of just how the juice built itself up, how they have made this batch, if you will. It's just like flavors. What flavors are you getting from the oak barrel? It's in an oak barrel, right? Where the age on this is something I don't have an answer to either. How many years this has spent in the barrel? I know that this is bottle number 82 is what we've got here. That may not as good as, better than bottle 81, not as good as bottle 83.
There you go.
Thank you, Fingers. these kinds of things are very, very subjective, as opposed to a bourbon that you get all the time, every day. You know what that bourbon is, and they make it to that level of specification, to that flavor profile. In something like this is about having a lot of faith. This is about knowing that the Blanton's name has stood the test in terms of quality and in terms of value. And you've got faith that this is something special. The same basic expressions in the bourbon, maybe with unique twists. Fingers, this is a dark, dark bourbon. I don't know if this is almost a dark copper is what we're looking at here. We're doing these in rocks glasses, not in the Glencairn glasses for this right now, just because rocks glasses is what I had. But almost in the bottle, it almost looks syrupy.
Yes.
Right? It's that dark. What is the nose doing for you?
So on the nose, Tony, there's definitely some baking spice and some honey and some oak.
Oh, it went right up the nose. That hit me. That hit me.
So what are you thinking on the nose?
Oh, right. I am all clear. Oh, like I had horseradish. My nose is all.
It was
clear.
almost a Three Stooges thing you had going on there.
I don't know. I don't know. Is that chocolatey?
That's interesting.
You're getting what?
Honey and some oak and baking spice.
That's interesting. Oak is there. Oak is there. I agree with that. I don't know. That's not.
Hey, when I first stuck my nose in there, that's where I got the baking spice. And I don't know if I'm getting accustomed to it or my nose was playing tricks on me, because I'm not getting as much of the baking spice now as I did when I first put my nose to the glass.
The oak is nice, right? It came up behind, and now that's really all I get is oak, which is something that I absolutely love, and I find it wanting in a fair amount of the things that I try. 128.4 proof. You've got your nose right in there. You're not afraid. For me, it hit. For me, I could take that. Alcohol was strong.
I will say that the table below is about 18 inches from my nose, almost 2 feet, and I got a whiff of the bourbon from the table. So it does have a nice bit of the nose is strong,
but the whiffs mean nothing. Well, actually, the nose means a tremendous amount. Fingers Malloy, are you ready for this?
I've been ready for this all day.
We are doing what's known as the Kentucky Chew, moving the bourbon around the palate, get a feel for it. Sometimes you want to do 2 sips. The first to set the taste buds, the second to really get an understanding of flavors. I don't know where you are with this, Fingers, based on your face.
Well, I gave you a little bit of an old man whiskey face that Dennis Leary used to describe it, because it does. The 128 proof does make you the nose go up a little bit. But that vanilla is there. There's caramel and oak, and that spice is there. It's wonderful. It's outstanding.
I'm going in. I am going in. What we've got here is from Blanton's, the single barrel. This is barrel number 510 at 128.4 proof. You might find single barrel, and you may purchase single barrel. It might be at a different proof. It might be at a different alcohol content, and that absolutely will have an effect on what you get from it. But I was not going to pass up the Blanton's. Fingers, you all right?
I'll tell you about it off the air.
Okay. All right. Here it is. I'm going in, Fingers Malloy.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. The Blanton's single barrel. He's doing what we like to call the Saginaw Swish. The Kentucky.
Oh, that is luscious. All right. I'm taking a second here because there was a little bit of heat. The heat is tongue. The heat is center chest. The heat is upper palate, top of the mouth, roof of the mouth, which is interesting. It came out. There was to me, there was a bit of orange going on. There was there was a bit of I almost want to say graham cracker, but maybe that is caramel.
Well, caramel honey.
Baking spice for sure, is happening right there. Um, that is that's delicious. That is luscious. There's a there's a little bit of spice, a touch of chocolate, a little bit, especially in that finish. Oh my. Oh wow. There's a lot of depth.
Yeah. And that chocolate finish you're talking about, it
Mm.
hits you well after a minute, at least for me. And I got that kind of an orange peel zest uh well after too. And to me, it doesn't play like it's 128 proof.
It doesn't. Shockingly, it doesn't. Much richer. Actually matches the actual look. The Blanton single barrel. This is barrel number 510, 128.4 proof. Now, is this in our liquor cabinet? Well, that's a question about price. We will get to that coming up. It seems the price of everything is up. We have discussed these economic issues repeatedly over the last year. What's odd is that home prices are coming down, even though mortgage rates are still up. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is Fingers Malloy. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Aldi is now going through a major change to grocery prices. We already saw that Target announced it was lowering the price on like 5,000 items. Right? They are across the board. They're recognizing the problems that people are having. We've talked about McDonald's. They're now getting back into value meal kind of business. Wendy's is doing this with a $3 a breakfast. Aldi is lowering prices on more than 250 summer essentials, which they say will result in an estimated $100 million in savings for Americans through Labor Day. So you've got barbecue essentials like sirloin steak. You've got picnic necessities like French baguettes. And as you know, Fingers Malloy, or I should say I know about you, you've never had a picnic without a French baguette.
I'm not a savage.
No, you are. You are not. And easy to travel snacks like granola bars.
I'm not a savage.
Everybody recognizes that things are not all right, that things are tight. There is a story. Did you hear the story about Rubio's Coastal Grill in California?
No.
So they're known for their fish tacos, right? Quick serve place based out of San Diego. What's the problem?
Nothing. Go ahead. Go on.
Is there a problem with fish tacos?
No, they sound wonderful.
Are you screwing with me right now?
Who wants a fish taco?
I don't even. What? Wow.
Like tuna?
No. Like fried fish, like, flaky white fish.
So it's breaded.
Well, no, it's battered, or you can get it grilled, I guess. Oh, I would do a fish taco right now. I would do 12 fish tacos right now.
You have a bucket in the studio?
No,
Oh,
no, we are a bucket-free zone. So Rubio's Coastal Grill in California, they decided that fast food workers have to get $20 an hour. They determined the minimum wage for fast food has to be $20 an hour. So Rubio's closed 48 locations. Not one, 48.
To clarify, the state of California, the government said that the fast food wage should be $20.
Correct.
Not Rubio's.
No, not Rubio's. The state of California. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mess that all up?
Just want to make sure that people know that what
California
we're talking
mandated a $20 an hour minimum wage for fast food, and Rubio's Coastal Grill said, yeah, we can't afford this. We're closing 48 locations. So how many people are now without a job?
So you're saying that didn't actually help workers?
Turns out not so much. Turns out government interference, government do-goodery really does good.
Wow. Well, I got to say this. I don't like the idea of anyone losing their job, but it doesn't break my heart that there are a few less fish tacos in the world.
You're just the worst kind of person. But Aldi making this move, right? Already considered, a discount grocery chain and having huge success in the United States. I am now curious to how people have changed how they live. We've talked about this with cigars. We talked about this with bourbon. You take a look at things, maybe you'll spend a little bit more on bourbon, but you're buying less bottles overall. You're still looking for deals. We take a look at cigars that normally we would not have, thought anything of at $20 a stick. And now we say, well, because there's a real economics at play. I brought this up about the whole Disney thing. They're putting $17 billion into their Florida properties. That they're basing this on the idea that there's still going to be a market that wants this. So are we saying that we'll pay for experiences, but we refuse to pay up for the basics? We'll save for the special thing to make us feel good, like everything's going okay, but we're going to look for only the meat that's on sale on its last day of shelf life?
Well, it does make sense that if you say to yourself, I still want to go on that vacation, but I can cut back on things on the vacation. I won't go to the nicer restaurants. Maybe I'll go to fast food joints, or maybe I will pack snacks going into Disney instead of just going and buying all the Dole Whips. I'm willing to cut back there. But man, as far as groceries go, people are trying to scrimp and save as much as possible. My question is, are they just going to take the $100 million hit, or are other prices at Aldi going to go up? Like, are you going to need a 50-cent piece to get a grocery cart now?
No. They still say they're keeping the quarter cart system. You put in a quarter, you get a cart. You return it, you get your quarter back. Right? That's how it works there. There's a part of this I think that will have people saying, "Oh, so they could have lowered prices at any time." Well, true, they could have lowered prices at any time, but Fingers is bringing up the point. And what's the hit? Rubio's could have paid $20 an hour, but they couldn't afford $20 an hour. The business can't stay in business. But they were not allowed to choose how they run their business. The state of California decided how to run their business and put them out in 48 locations. Notice how businesses can decide for themselves and work ways to entice customers back and recognize what they're dealing with. This idea that we need this top-down philosophy. The market is always the winner. Always. It always does better. McDonald's deciding to offer this $5 kind of concept. You haven't heard about McDonald's going out. Wendy's offering this $3 breakfast thing. You haven't heard about that going out. They know how to do this and how to reach their audience. They should be the ones making the choices and responding to the market. And I think that's the overall story. The state of California responded to the market by giving business more to worry about. Here, these businesses responded to the market by finding ways to work within their business.
Well, as far as the government mandate, it's always insulting when you've got a bunch of people who've never met a payroll or run a business decide what business should do when it comes to their payroll. But getting back to the discussion about prices, the free market is a wonderful thing, and Aldi analyzes customer behavior, but also they have to worry about their competition. Just like what you said with McDonald's, when McDonald's is lowering prices because of feedback from the customer behavior, but also Wendy's is making cuts. So you have to respond to your competitors making cuts. The free market's great.
It works every time. No, it doesn't mean that everybody always benefits every time. But the market doing its thing is far better. But the market is also telling us something. People are hurting. The inflation is real. It is a tax. It's the way to look at it. And people are making hard decisions. And I think you hit on something. Vacations and is going to happen. They're going to go on vacation. So other things are sacrificed. Whether it's not going out to eat, because if you are correct, and I think you might be, they'll go to Disney, but they're not going to go to local restaurants for dinner. That hurts. That hurts a lot. And if you're Aldi, they might not be buying some of those higher end things or higher price things, but you still want them in your store buying the things in general. It's a recognition of just where we're at right now in America, around the globe. Fingers Malloy, we got so wrapped up in this conversation about Blanton single barrel that we're reviewing right here. The idea of spending big dollars for long-term happiness. $150 to $200 a bottle is, I think, a big dollars. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Father's Day around the corner, in our book, Let's Go Barbecue, is available at Amazon.com. Recipes, tips, and tales from the pit. A perfect Father's Day gift. Also, Let's Go Bourbon, the bourbon reader you've always needed. Both available at Amazon.com. Get those for Father's Day. Place your order right now.
I cannot believe Father's Day is right around the corner.
Yeah.
This year is just flying by. I also can't believe how easy it is to order a copy of Let's Go Barbecue.
Right.
It's so simple to go to Amazon.com and place your order. There are plenty of books available on Amazon.com.
Right.
And so you could just go on Amazon.com. And from what I understand, the folks over at Amazon, you order something, it could be there in 3 minutes.
Is that right?
That's what I understand.
So wait, so we've gone from supplies are limited to unlimited supply.
I felt like mixing it up a little.
Fingers, we were so focused on the bourbon and smoking the Kristoff Veinte, the 20-year anniversary cigar from Kristoff, we never got to News of the Week. So Fingers Malloy, it is time for News of the Week.
I can't do it, Tony.
Oh, then don't.
I can't do the negative Nancy typical news of the week. I don't know if you've read the papers lately, Tony.
There are papers?
Yes. Most of it is filled with bad news.
I did not know that.
It doesn't matter if you're on the front page of your local newspaper or on page 7, because there are only 8 pages in your local newspaper
These days.
But the news is almost universally bad. So when I do News of the Week here on Eat, Drink, Smoke, so many people in newsrooms around the country, even though there aren't nearly as many people in newsrooms around the country as there used to be, they say that Fingers Malloy is a negative Nancy.
I thought they called you Johnny Good News.
Well, they're a little bit upset because there are a lot less people in the newsroom that there used to be.
Right.
So now they just call me Negative Nancy because they're crabby.
That's what they call them.
So I'm going to avoid negative stories here, Tony, and we're doing a bunch of fluff news.
Oh. Wait. Different podcast.
There it is. I was wondering if you were going to say something.
I did. Send your emails to fingers@eatdrinksmokeshow.com.
M&Ms has announced they're going to have a new flavor, Tony. This is exciting.
The chocolate candy.
Yes, the chocolate
that
candy.
I love. There are 2 M&Ms that are acceptable, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, 3 M&Ms that are acceptable. The classic M&M, the peanut M&M, and then the M&M that has the pretzel inside. The pretzel M&M. Those 3 acceptable.
There's a new flavor now, Tony, and this was released in May. I had to double check that it isn't October.
No.
M&M's new milk chocolate pumpkin pie flavored.
All right, I'll try it. I'm weak.
Here's the deal. You know my stance on pumpkin spice.
Wait, just in case I didn't. What is your stance on pumpkin spice?
It's the worst thing to ever hit the planet.
Really?
Yes.
The worst thing
Ever.
to hit, worse than Kanye?
Worse than Kanye.
Wow. Worse than the Real Housewives series?
I love the Real Housewives series.
Really?
Oh, who can't? I can't get enough of that stuff.
Is that right?
Yeah, that one woman that had 10 facelifts that's on that show. I love her. So anyway,
That's narrowing it down.
here's the deal. I don't like pumpkin spice because I love pumpkin pie.
Is that right?
I do. I love pumpkin. Set a pumpkin pie in front of me right now. I will stick my face in it and eat it like I'm in a pie eating contest.
Is that right?
Yes. I just don't think pumpkin should be in every product in the grocery store. Pumpkin sausage, pumpkin coffee, pumpkin sausage. All should be banned. But come September, everything is pumpkin. So that's what drives me nuts. But pumpkin candy, that's fine.
Oh, that is?
Of course, it's candy.
So how come you didn't bring any for us to try?
I couldn't find any.
Oh, did you actually try and find it?
Absolutely.
Did you search high and low?
I searched low, and I could not find it anywhere. But it is new. M&M's new milk chocolate pumpkin pie flavor. Apparently, at one point, I don't remember this, they had a white chocolate pumpkin pie flavor back in 2017.
Don't recall.
There's probably a reason why.
Yeah.
Are you anti-white chocolate?
No, I don't understand the anti-white chocolate.
people. That is almost as passionate of an argument as the people who don't like ketchup on a hot dog. The white chocolate people, the people who get angry over white chocolate, they get very hot under the collar.
They got a lot of free time. I don't have time for that anger. I'm busy living my life.
So,
all right, so we're gonna try these.
Yeah, we're gonna try these, and we should probably videotape it to see the reaction.
Right, because there's still videotape.
We will go to the Betamax.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll be able to see Eat, Drink, Smoke on Laserdisc at a family video near you.
Oh, so there's a town in central Indiana, Marion, Indiana.
Yes.
That the family video building is still there. Their family, it hasn't been knocked down because I don't even know if family video exists anymore.
I don't think so.
But you could still, it's like when you see the old Taco Bells, you know how the Taco Bell building, they all look the same in the 70s and 80s. And if it doesn't get knocked down.
The building is still there.
Yeah.
Is it for sale?
No, it's just abandoned. I'm sure it's for sale, but you can see the shell. You're like, oh, that was a family video. You can just, as clear as day, like, oh, that's there. But I miss family video. You know why?
Do you miss going to the video store and selecting your film?
Of course I do, because as you know, Tony, I like a sense of community. And for all of us to get together
I can barely get you to leave the house to come here and do the show. You love a sense of community.
I do.
If the community has one resident.
Yes. And the community would get together on a Friday evening and they'd all go to the family video and the Blockbuster video. And and a young lad would look at their dad and say, "Pa."
Hold on. What would they say?
"Pa, can we get that Veggie Tales videotape?" And the dad would say, "Who are you?" Heartwarming things happen.
What about the three people in the corner fighting over the last copy of Yahoo Serious?
Oh, yeah. There's that, or the really weird room with the shutters that people would walk in.
Oh, it was a good room. I worked in a video store as a kid for a half a second, and the first thing they made me do, you're in charge of restocking there. I learned so much.
I
thought I knew what love was. I was mistaken.
I have so many good stories.
Anything that starts with, I have so many good stories.
I have so many good stories about my buddy who worked at a video store. I used to go in and hang out with him, and
like clerks.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I can't share them on the air about the back room with the shutters. But just, use your imagination, I guess. But it's bad.
You see, kids, back in the day, finding adult entertainment wasn't as easy as turning on your phone. You actually had to go somewhere and brave the embarrassment.
In a trench coat.
Well, and a hat. Sunglasses. It was day in July, right? And this is you.
Yeah.
This is what we did.
And it brought down people. Pee Wee Herman, his career was nearly ruined.
That's not why it was nearly ruined.
Oh.
No, he didn't go to the room with the shutters. He went to the theater.
The theater.
Right? The theater, as he called it. Rest his soul. Paul Rubens, gone too soon.
He's dead?
For a second there. Smoking the Kristoff Veinte, the 20-year, $15, $14, $15 a stick. It's a nice stick. It is. We did it as the Cut Perfecto. There's a series of vitolas and shapes. You should check it out at your local tobacconist. And this Blanton's 128.4 proof, the single barrel. This one is barrel 510. Different barrels might give you different flavors. This is just wonderful. And okay, I'll spend the 150. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. This is Eat Drink Smoke.
Follow Eat Drink Smoke on social media, on Twitter at Go Eat Drink Smoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/eatdrinksmoke, and Instagram at Eat Drink Smoke Podcast.